There we go. Hey, YouTube. Instagram looks like you're booting up. What?
Slap how close this one is.
Yeah, that's what I said. You might want to scoot back.
No, you have to see it.
Oh, I think it's start.
See it nice.
Up close and personal. Hello, hello. Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Sorry, YouTube. We are messing with all the other cameras. We always. There we go.
There's one that one.
It's like angled funny. Just trying to get all the devices set up. So we can have all three going at the same time. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. All there, I think.
It says hang out, 10 more followers. Okay.
Perfect. This lighting. It's weird because it's like you look fine on there, but dark on there.
I would find all of them.
Yes.
Thank you.
You do.
The capital F. No, capital PH. There we go.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Positive Express. Thanks for joining. Thanks for saying hello. Oh, I'm getting better at reading these screen names. Just you wait. Hey, Dad. Hey, Julie. Got our friends and family on. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I'm going to give it just another few seconds. Let people jump on.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear the kids.
Good.
This is our weekly live. We do just we hop on real quick. Hey,
Hi, Lisa.
Tell us where you're joining from. You guys, I know where my dad is joining from, but.
Hi, Becca.
Lisa, Becca, Positive Express, tell us where you're joining from. We do a weekly live. It can be just a chat or it can be a Q&A, depending on what your guys' needs are. And we like to just talk about all things food allergy related because we know that food allergies affect all facets of life. And I am Megan. I am the blogger over at Allergy Awesomeness, where we learn together how to still be awesome even with food allergies. Wisconsin, nice, Becca. My parents lived in Green Bay for a little bit.
Let's say, does it smell like cheese?
We couldn't live there with our dairy allergy.
Do you live in one of those factory towns that is stinky?
You never even been there.
No, but that's what I've heard.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked.
Do your kids have a dairy allergy? I'd be very interested to know, since it's very dairy heavy there.
Quisher.
Oh, I'm glad you took that one. I didn't know how to pronounce that one. Hey, thanks for joining us. So I introduced myself. I am Megan.
Or Jack shirt. I don't know.
And this is my husband.
Your husband, Claudia.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Take it.
Father of your 3 children.
Mm-hmm. No, just 2.
No, we have 3.
I have 3.
You know, don't. That's not even funny. Not even.
If you were to see them, there's no doubt they're his kids.
Anyways, our oldest 2 children have food allergies. They have peanuts and tree nuts.
Oh.
And then our oldest has 9 other anaphylactic allergies, with a total of 10.
That's right.
And then 30 other foods that he's sensitive to, 30 plus.
Due to
EOE.
Mm-hmm. He has asthma as well. So kind of the 3 allergic conditions. Oh, Fred Meyer stores. Hello, welcome. He used to shop there in Idaho Falls. Hey, Brittany Harward. And hey, tuning in from Albuquerque. Woo woo, Julie.
New Mexico.
Oh, Becca says, so I live by Madison, no factory by me. And my youngest has a dairy intolerance. Thankfully, it's not to the point where she can't have it. It's just on a limit. Oh, that's good.
Gotcha.
Interesting. You always wonder if you live somewhere where something that would be an extra.
Live in Hawaii, allergic to pineapples.
Or pork, or, just like that would be difficult. So, good, but it's not a full-blown allergy. So like he mentioned, we have been food allergy parents for 6 years. We're constantly learning, but one of the best ways that we have learned has just been by chatting with other allergy parents. There's only so much time you get at the allergist, and we love our allergists, but sometimes it's kind of like they don't always help you with all the social stuff and the social interactions. So we just wanted like an open forum where you can either watch it live. A lot of people, because it's later, especially for the East Coast, watch it the next day, and you can still comment then too, and we can just learn from one another. So appreciate you guys jumping on your Monday night. Should we do a little tidbit?
Sure.
Okay. You want to go?
Nope.
Of course.
I don't have.
Hey, Arizona wildflower. Okay, well, be thinking. So every week we try and do a tidbit, just to see if we have anything in common with you guys and to get to know us outside of being allergy parents. And we always used to do one for ourselves, but it's kind of fun to do one for each other. So we've been doing that recently. So let me think. For Claudie. Oh, I just did this for you today.
What?
I feel like you have interesting soda choices. Like you're not like a Coke and a Pepsi type of person. Like he's having me buy like pineapple Fanta. Like I never had even heard of that flavor.
Because I am from the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly.
Not from the Caribbean, but
Caribbean
I grew
blood.
up. Yes, I grew up Caribbean American, and so fruit flavors
sodas
was one of the first sodas I ever had / grew up on. I think I didn't get into the habit of drinking dark sodas until like college. But yeah, Sprite, Fanta, grape, orange, Fresca, all those I grew up with and I enjoy very much.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not just a Pepsi.
Oh, Becca loves it too.
Unless it's like cherry Coke or cherry Pepsi. Then no. But yeah, it's true.
Yes.
I like my fruit sodas.
Oh, I like your account, your allergy shouts. Thanks for joining. You guys will have some good input, I'm sure. Because we have, after you do your tidbit, we've got a really good question that a reader submitted that she would like everyone's feedback on. So get ready to type because we want to hear your thoughts. Do you think of one for me?
I don't know. Something that came to mind is that Megan is a middle child.
Mm-hmm.
She has an older brother and a younger sister. So
I don't feel like I hit the typical middle child stereotype though. No.
I think it's kind of different for you because you're old, 6 years older than your youngest sibling.
Yeah, and the oldest was a boy, so I was like the oldest girl, and I hear that affects like birth order too. And yeah, and Molly's not on, so I can say this: I'm the golden child, anyways. Dad, don't comment.
I guess that depends on who is giving their opinion on that one.
Anyway. Okay, so we would love to hear about, we try and always do like a weekly catch up where you can tell us, hey Kelly, hey Jennifer, what laughing emoji. Oh good. Where you can tell us what's been going on recently. Like we love to hear any recent updates. Have you had testing done? Have you had a good experience you want to share? A bad experience you want to share? We love hearing what's been going on in your allergy world. And I wanted to share something that happened this past weekend so you guys can be filled in.
What happened?
Well, I'll tell you.
What happened was.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a birthday party for a friend, and she's always very conscious, so good with, because her kids had egg allergies and they got thrown them. And so she gets it. And so we talked in advance about like what she's going to make. And she was going to do like hamburgers and hot dogs. My son can't do either of those because he's like anaphylactic to beef. Mm. So she's going to switch it. She's from Mexico. She's going to do tacos. We were like so excited to have her tacos. And she sent out one last RSVP, but I didn't respond. Tell me if you guys would have done this, okay? If it's just me. And I was like, I don't need to respond. I just felt like she was asking all the people who hadn't talked to her about the party yet. Because I'm like, we had done a full-blown discussion on the menu. So I assumed she knew we were coming. So I called her for her address because I couldn't remember her exact address. And she was like, oh, you're coming? I'm like, yes, we've had a whole conversation about this. And she was like, oh, I went back to hamburgers and hot dogs because I didn't think you were coming.
Because you didn't RSVP.
Well, but I did, in the sense of we had a whole conversation. I'm just yes, clarifying. I officially RSVP. I thought like a full text conversation about a menu would count as an RSVP. Mm. Am I crazy? Anyone else? Anyone else? Can you see my train of thought? Give me some hearts if you
Gotcha.
can see where I'm coming from. So anyways, it's fine. Like, thank goodness I've been doing my cookbook, right? So we've got like leftovers from leftovers in the fridge. And I haven't pulled out of my driveway yet. So I was like, it's okay. I'll bring something for him. So I like ran in the house and thank you, getting some hearts. Thank you.
Here, your black heart. What's that mean?
Oh, you can just do any color part. Thank you, Brittany.
Any
Not
color
crazy.
heart.
Any color.
Counts as a heart.
Okay. Go on dark.
So it's color preference, huh?
Yeah. So I ran in the house, like grabbed a bunch of containers, and I had already obviously planned a cupcake. I told her, don't worry about that. I'll bring our own cupcake. So got to the party and we were late. And I love to say it's because of that, but I'm just always late. I'm never on time. It was like 40 minutes away.
That's next week's interesting tidbit.
Well, it's spoiled now.
Nope, I'm using it.
Okay. So anyways, get there. And I appreciate her motive and it didn't bother me. So we get there and everyone's already eating, right? And so she's like, hey everyone, these are our friends, Megan and da-da-da-da. She's like, they both have food allergies. Because it's a little kid place. There's like little kids ever. And she's like, so don't touch their plate and don't share food with them and vice versa. And
Plentiful Zoe.
Nice. Oh, and Peggy. Hey, Peggy. So she was like, don't touch their plate, don't touch their food, that's their special food. And I was like, oh, thank you. I felt like she was trying to be very proactive.
So she announced it from everyone.
Everyone, adults, kids, like she stopped the party.
Okay.
And our oldest, who is 4 mostly, because there was no peanuts or peanuts there. So our middle was fine, because those are his, but our oldest went like this. Well, she was like calling him out and talking about it. And I was like, you don't need to be embarrassed, but it's kind of hard to talk about it in the heat of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you guys, give me some hearts if you remember this story, because maybe some of you are new, but a few months ago, is that how long it's been? Our son went to a birthday party and some kid he didn't know was like, your cupcake looks weird because it's from home.
Yeah.
I always think they're cute. Like I go to the trouble to like pipe a star piping and everything. But it's made my son, and he's gone to so many birthday parties. He's very well loved. But that one birthday party has like scarred him. And ever since then, he's been like so nervous to bring his homemade treat. But the cake was homemade, the cupcakes were homemade. Like this is one where it's not like they have these really fancy store-bought ones.
Yeah.
So anyways, after we sang and blew out the candles, we asked everyone starting to eat their cupcakes, and I said, son, do you want your cupcake? And he was like, no. And it's like, I'm not going to force it on him, right? Like, would you have? Like, he wasn't there. So when we got in the car on the way home, I was like, why didn't you eat your cupcake at the party? And he was, because the minute we got in the car, he's like, can I have my cupcake? And I was like, so obviously you wanted it, right? So I was just like, I hope that someday you can get to the point where you won't be concerned about what other people think. Like, everyone there was really nice. And I don't think other people cared. Like, most people are too busy doing their own thing, eating their own thing to care. And you just happen to get one kid that was like outspoken. I don't even think he was trying to be rude. Like, kids just notice differences,
Notice things and they're vocal about it.
Yeah.
That's the
like, hello, how many comments have you gotten?
That's
like being in Utah about like being black and stuff. Like, kids say stuff, like they just notice differences. Like, I've straight up remember in Carter's soccer team, like she kept seeing my son run over to me, and she kept like looking at me and then looking at my son, and she finally was like, "Are you his mom?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "But you don't look like him." Like kids just they point out the obvious.
Yeah.
But it's just too bad that we see that he's like really internalized it, and he's getting to this point where he feels some shame around it. So it's tough. It was hard. I feel like all you can do is keep trying to I try to be like, cool, thanks for letting everyone know, and show that I'm not embarrassed about it, and have a good attitude about it, and then follow up with him when we were alone in the car. And I just hope that this will be something he grows out of. I don't know. Do you have any more thoughts on it?
I don't know. Our son is in a really self-aware stage.
Mm-hmm. What he wears.
Cares about what he wears, what it's going to look like, how it's going to be perceived. Cares about people are paying attention to him. So that's just where he's at right now.
Yeah.
So an experience which he had with someone pointing out his food made him uncomfortable, and so he feels to avoid that, you gotta not eat it ever again in front of somebody.
I think that will get old though, and I think he'll start to get used to that. And to his credit, like we are just like mutual friends with that one person, but because they live so far away, like they had a lot of family and friends that my son didn't know. So I think they already kind of felt maybe not super comfortable because it's not like a neighborhood party or a family party. There's a lot of people. He probably was like, I don't know how they're going to react, you know? So to his credit. But I was going to say, so Becca says that that's happened to her before. Yeah, where you were planning on someone having something and they didn't, and she had to grab something safe quick. Is Alicia on? So that same thing happened, something similar. Just a few weeks ago, we went to her son's first birthday, and she had said, oh, well, I'll make safe ragu, safe spaghetti, everything. And then Trevor, are you on?
I'm calling him out by name.
Oh, yes. Throw it down. Anyways, he was just trying to be funny, and he didn't remember that we were coming. There was no bad intentions.
He was not trying to be funny towards us. He was trying to be funny towards his wife.
Yeah. So she was like stirring the pot, and he went and threw an almond in just to like mess with her because she was cooking. And she's like, what are you doing? The lemons are coming. They can't have that. So like we were scrambling last second to like get a jar of safe sauce, and then she made a separate pan for us and everything. But it was like meat. It didn't have any meat in it because she'd used all of her ground meat in the one. Anyway, so we've definitely had last minute like substitutions. Like, do we need to just run to Chick-fil-A really quick? You know, so you just make it work. But so Jennifer has kind of an opposite experience. She was saying, you want to read it for me? I want to get a drink.
I can see where you're coming from, but I don't trust any of my friends to correct me as my allergy child based on past experiences, unfortunately.
That's too bad. I will say there's a select few. Like I went, if I don't know someone and they're like, oh, okay, you're like, do you really get it? But where her kids have had egg allergies, and she's been involved in our lives at least, I don't know, 6-7 years. And I feel like I trust her, but I can see you do have to be careful. You can't just have anyone cook for them. So I get that. And I'm sorry, I've had some new people join and we've missed you. Okay. Hey, Joanne Lynn. Hey, so Camel, and Molo14.
Where are you looking?
Over on Instagram.
Oh,
see that? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Becca says, as my daughter has gotten older, she's getting more aware of food allergies and it's that way for you too. Oh yeah. I think so.
He's good at advocating for himself, knowing what he can or can't have. He's just at a stage where people that he probably doesn't necessarily feel safe around, he doesn't want them to know or have to announce that he has a food allergy.
Yeah.
So, but especially when he's publicly present.
Yeah.
And it's not just that. Like I take him to work. Something I experienced this past week, I take my boys to work periodically.
Yeah.
And something that they've been doing recently is they don't like being called cute. And they've been very vocal about it. To where if we walk up or near or vicinity of someone at my work, that's the first thing out of my mouth. Oh no, we gotta walk over there where there's people. They're gonna call us cute. And as soon as they do, then they make a comment about it. So
just that age where it's like, I want to be noticed, but only noticed the way I want to be noticed. I don't want this kind of attention.
Pretty much.
But I'm glad to hear that your daughter's gotten better with age, and I certainly hope that that will be the case. It does worry me because they say teenagers are the most at-risk population because they're more into taking chances and not wanting to carry their EpiPen and so forth. So that's great if you find she's maturing more. So that's great. Sorry, you are not blocking. The big manly shoulders. Did we read that one? Okay, yes. So Diana said, if we miss a comment, just text again. It says he tends to be a little rude and makes them feel guilty for bringing something that he's allergic to. We're working on being polite when talking about it because in most cases they just don't know. Sadly, It has led to food allergy, bullying in school lunchroom. Interesting. How old is he? I just wonder, like, what his comprehension and social graces are, because those grow as you get older. And my other question to that is he like airborne or contact reactive? Because I feel like if he's not planning on eating it and he knows like they're not going to be holding hands after or anything, is there a cause for concern if they're eating it around him? I mean, to me, it'd be like there's really not a point in saying anything unless they like offer him a bite and he's like, "Oh, I have a food allergy and I can't have that." You know what I mean? So yeah, it's tricky. You don't want to like, I don't know. Is there such a thing as over advocating? I guess in that sense, there kind of is, like, because you don't want to guilt people or make people feel like they have to bend over backwards for you, but you do want to let people know. So
what is your concern?
I was just responding to her question,
Which
she was just saying how she has to talk to this guy about like not over sharing and making people feel guilty if they're eating something in front of them. And then we have.
I'm curious what it is that he says to
he's
other
6.
people.
Oh, so he's so young. Yeah.
I'm curious what it is that he
That
says
makes more
as
sense.
far as making people feel guilty and also people responding by bullying him.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know more of that story.
Because again, I would imagine him being 6, he's probably just kind of what he said,
stating the facts.
Just stating the facts. And so I'm curious what it is or how he says it that would encourage people to respond, feeling that he's being rude or that they need to respond by bullying him.
Because I wonder if they're just like put off. Is it really bullying, or is it just they're like, "Hey, I just wanted to eat this, like lay off me," or like that's a delicate situation.
Because I definitely know what it's like to work with kids, like working with teenagers who will bring up something that can be considered negative or perceived as negative by their peers or not cool, and they try to play it as a way of getting attention. That's kind of like their go-to card. They don't have the tools to get attention any other way, so they use things that are negatively perceived as a way of getting attention. Their peers get annoyed because they perceive that they're purposely doing it to get attention.
Oh, okay.
And so then, yes, they also switch it up on them and they'll use it as a way to get to them, to aggravate
push
them.
their button.
Like they know like that's kind of their kryptonite, even though they're trying to use it to empower themselves. And so I see how that works against teens who don't have the proper tools. So I mean, I imagine 6-year-olds also don't have the proper tools. But I'm also concerned as far as his peers respond in that way.
Yeah.
At such a young age.
Oof, that's tricky. That might be something worth like. Does he need to sit at a special allergy table? Does the lunch lady or monitor need to be aware and be watching?
Mm-hmm.
Does the teacher need to, or the mom, go in and read a story to the class and talk about food allergies so the class has an understanding? Mm-hmm. Does a parent need to come visit for lunch one time? And I mean, there's a lot of solutions I think that could be worked around that, but tricky situation. He can have contact allergies of strawberries or strawberry juice. Interesting. It comes across informative, but it's the tone of voice that is rude. It's hard. It's like the words you choose, your facial expressions, your tone, like everything goes into communicating, right?
Yes.
So that's tough. But it sounds like you're aware. It sounds like things are being worked on with that kid. So keep us posted. Hopefully it will continue to get better. We miss some people. Sifs and giggles. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna swear. I'm saying it wrong. Hey, Courtney.
I guess that's the pun that they're going for.
I know, good one. So follow up with that. Diana says, I think his issue is failing to realize they may not know, so he gets offended thinking they knew or remembered.
Gotcha. We have a son that's quick to take offense as well.
So yeah, everything is personal.
That I can relate.
Everything is personal. It's hard to train them to think like you can't assume motive. And there's adults who still do that too, right? Like ask them their motive. Don't assume. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's hard for even adults to do that. So it's for kids, that's tough. That's tough.
We're also helping them learn that they can express how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing the reason why he's taking offense is because he's probably scared in that moment.
Or he's feeling unsafe.
Or he's feeling unsafe.
Or maybe he takes it so personally, he feels like they don't care about me because they're eating this.
Or they don't care about him.
We find digging at the core emotion really helps.
And teaching them to express themselves that way, not to react to where, it seems like they're being rude and they're instantly taking offense, but what we call being vulnerable. Hey, like, you having that around me makes me feel unsafe.
Yeah.
And then, they can leave it at that versus feeling that they have to respond in a way to handle the situation.
Yeah. And it's so hard for kids to word things right, but I've been trying really hard to model with my kids. Because I feel like it's just so ingrained in our society, but I feel like there's such power in words. Like you say, like, you make me so mad. And it's like, they don't make you do anything. Like, do not assign your emotions to another person. So like, I try and like state the emotion and then use like the word when. So like, I feel unsafe when you eat that around me.
Mm-hmm.
Because even just saying you make me, I feel like people instantly get on the offense because it's like, I'm not making you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's teaching that child, like, they make me feel feelings. And it's like, you're always in control of your feelings.
Preach.
You know what I mean? So I hate that phrase. Like, it's like, sorry, but it's like nailed. And I know you didn't mean that. And I feel like you actually don't often say those words. But
I said that?
Yeah, you're saying, I feel something when it makes me feel this way when you bring those things. And it's like nails on a chalkboard to me, and I'm trying so hard. I think just because I'm consciously working on that habit myself, because I know I want that model for my kids, that it's like, oh, so it's like, no one makes you feel that way. You always are in control of what emotions you choose and how you let people. I mean, they can affect you 100%, but like you can choose to take it to that emotion. So, soapbox off, tangent done. So good luck, Diana. Keep us posted, in the weeks to come how that goes.
But we understand. Like I said, we have a child that he instantly takes offense, and we're trying to work with him on that.
Yeah. So, okay, last question, unless anyone has any other things. So a reader asked, she wants to know, she has a daughter, and if I am understanding correctly, because she's not on right now, so she can't correct me, but hopefully she'll watch this. I'll message her. They've had to use the EpiPen quite a few times. Her daughter is contact reactive, so they've definitely had several anaphylactic episodes and been in the ER a few times. And to me, they're rock stars. Like, I think they do so well at administering it, and they're so prepared, and they're way on the ball. However, their daughter's getting older, and she feels like her daughter is starting to try and hide reactions. So, like, if I understand her correctly, that when her daughter's starting to have a reaction come on, she doesn't want to show her parents. It's not like, is this a hive or my tummy hurts? It's like, crap. And I don't know that she knows the motive behind her daughter. My guess would be because she doesn't want to get the EpiPen and because she doesn't want to go to the hospital. But she's just like, what is going on? Like, my daughter is now starting to try and hide reactions. And it seems really concerning, and I can understand why she'd be concerned. So she wanted to know, like, have any of you had that happen? Do you know of any friends or family that have had that happen in the allergy community?
And the child's in grade school?
She's just starting grade school. So she's
younger. Like 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I can see that happening at any age, really.
I guess habitually, this can be a habit, but I think developmentally it could say a lot.
So what are you saying? Do you think when kids get older, they probably wouldn't do that?
Yes.
Because why? You think they would understand the risks?
I think potentially, it definitely depends on the child.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely depends on their experience. And as far as like a habit forming, I wouldn't imagine that all of a sudden, if she was 6, 7, 8, that she had been experiencing what she's been experiencing, and that she would decide to choose that as a solution.
Well, From what it sounded like she was just starting to do that. Like she hadn't done that before when she was younger, and now she's starting to.
But also, what's younger? If she's just 5, experience is based off of what? 3, 4?
3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little bit different, and definitely it's concerning, and definitely it's something you want to address. That as she develops and she has more tools, that she doesn't keep relying on, I need to hide.
Yeah.
So.
But
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's concerning.
Yeah, I would be too. So Sips and Giggled, you have to keep commenting. I like reading your name. She says, my 6-year-old does the same thing. So it sounds like maybe around that age, that is something common. So you're not alone, dear friend. Brittany says, oh, that's so scary. I haven't dealt with that before. I wish I had some advice.
Yeah.
And then another reader said, Rebecca says, my son didn't want to tell. So with the 2 of you that said you've had that happen, had you previously given an EpiPen? Because I'm curious if it's like, oh, that was like painful, or that was so scary, or if it's just like it's worked up in their head that like a reaction is so bad because I've seen that my parents are nervous about it, tried to avoid it, that I would just be curious. I don't think there's a right or a wrong, and they're gonna feel the way they feel regardless. But
Rebecca, I can see that train of thought. Rebecca says her son didn't want to tell when he was 5 because he was afraid of getting in trouble for eating something. Okay. But he was afraid of getting in trouble for eating something he wasn't sure about. So I can see that where they're getting caught up in getting in trouble, because that's a normal child thing. I don't want to get in trouble.
Across the board, yeah.
And so the lack of maturity to think like, okay, you don't want to get in trouble, and this is a life-threatening situation.
Yeah, where minutes count.
Getting in trouble should be the last of your worries or your concern, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that aspect of a child feeling like, oh, I ate something I wasn't supposed to, even knowingly or unknowingly, and their concern is I'm going to get in trouble, because they see things very black and white, right? Like good, bad, in trouble, not in trouble. It's hard for them to see like, okay, mistakes happen. My parents are going to be concerned for me, help me out.
Yeah. Well, especially where it's like, if it's at school and so maybe they don't have that relationship with their teacher that they do a parent, like I don't want to interrupt the teacher, or the teacher is more prone to getting upset that maybe my parents wouldn't. Like, I can see that being scary. I mean, honestly, like we've been thinking about getting our son that Gizmo watch for when he's in school full time, because I do worry about like, will he tell the teacher? Does he need to get a hold of me? That's something we've been thinking about. I think one thing that we've tried to do that maybe because we haven't had this exact thing happen, but I was trying to think of something close, and there's been times where our kids will get handed something from like a neighbor or a church or whatever, and our son will come running up and say, is this safe? And I'm trying to make like a really big deal out of it. Like, that was so good of you to come and ask me. Like, I bet that was really hard to not eat it. Oh, that does look yummy, huh? And I always, like I've mentioned, we have a treat box. We always keep like a big box of safe treats. And I'm always like, go get a treat out of the treat box. And they only usually get a treat for like, they ate a good dinner, like it's not often. So I try and reward for telling and make a big deal, like, that was such a good decision and that was so responsible, and like, so our son now like runs and tells us all the time, and he even does it for his younger brother. Like, he'll be like, he was gonna eat this, or you need to go ask mom. And so I always try and like reward for telling and make a big deal for being like, that was so smart of you.
Yeah.
And then I know you can't like retroactively go back, but I was trying to think, I mean, it's hard because I feel like it's the heat of the moment, but I know like this last time when our son did accidentally eat something that he thought was safe and it wasn't, because it was a high chew, and I hate high chews because some flavors are safe, some aren't, some have milk, some don't. So we just try and avoid it. But he was like, oh, I think I've had this wrapper before at church. And he came and was like nervous. Like, he was like, do we have to go to the hospital? But
yeah.
But I just kept telling him while I was driving, because we did drive to the ER, like, I'm not mad at you.
Mhm.
You know, it's okay. I understand why you thought that. But I was honest with them. I was like, I do wish you had asked. I do wish you had waited.
Yeah.
And because you chose not to wait, now we have to go sit in the ER. I'm not going to have them give you an EpiPen if you don't need it, but we do have to go to be safe,
Yeah.
So I think trying to eliminate that, like, mom and dad are going to be mad. And I don't see that they are that type, but I guess just to cross that off the list of maybe reasons why, always looking at, like, how do I react? I mean, I'm sure our kids sense the stress
The
coming off of
anxiety.
us. Yeah. I tried really hard. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I used to be under the impression that when a reaction was happening, that I need to be like, it's fine, everything's gonna be
Mhm.
okay. And try and reassure them. But since doing more therapy and more self work, I kind of feel like that's a disservice in the sense of I feel like there's this fine line, and tell me if you agree, where, like, I want to be emotionally honest with my kids. I don't want to lie to them, but I don't want to scare them either. So the 2 reactions ago, he was like, "I'm scared," and I was like, "I know, let's get in the car, let's go." I was like, "I'm scared too," and, like, I didn't want to be like, "No, it's fine, everything's fine," because I think our kids see through that anyways, and I'm like, I think they're like, "Bull crap," "Then why are you running around, and why are we rushing to the ER?" So I try to just be like, "I'm scared too, and I know that the best place for us is the hospital, and I know I'll feel better when we get to the hospital and they have monitors on you, and we have all this extra help at the hospital."
Yeah.
So I try and, like, be honest, like, "Yeah, mommy's scared too, like, it's okay to," and I try and say, because he's, like, starting to kinda cry, like, and I was like, "It's okay to cry and it's okay to be scared,"
Yeah.
because I don't want him to feel like, if mom's masking her emotions by just running around frantically, then I must have to mask my emotions. Like, I want him to feel like it's okay to be scared in the moment because it is scary, and I don't want him to feel like he has to just put on a brave face, like he can be real with me and I can be real with him. Do you agree?
I think that's agreeable.
So that's how I try and handle it. The only other thing, I think if there's any other advice you have for that reader, but the only thing I can think of is to, like, maybe you're gonna have to start giving, like, rewards for any time.
Yeah.
Like, even when times when it's not a full blown reaction. And tell me what you guys think too. Like, I don't want just Cody's advice. Your advice is wonderful, but I'm just curious what you guys think. Because, like, I don't know. For us, it's like our kids can have, like, their eyes swell when they're around cats and dogs, and seasonal allergies. Sometimes you're like, ooh, is that a reaction or is seasonal allergies flaring?
Mhm.
And so anytime they would tell us, hey, the chef mommy, hey, special dietitian, um, just being like, oh, I'm so proud of you for coming and telling me. You can have a treat or you can have a sticker or whatever your reward system is. So just, like, that positive reinforcement of, like, that was really brave of you to tell me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you share that with mommy. Mommy wants to know how your body feels all the time. Like, I want to know how your emotions are, and I want to know how your body is because I want to help protect it and I want to help make sure you're okay. And then maybe just talking through, like, yeah, mommy hates to give you the EpiPen. I don't like doing it, and it is a sad. And I do it because it helps you. And you felt better after you got the shot, and maybe just a lot of talking it out and modeling it would be my guess.
Now, I don't know if you've tried asking her why does she hides.
Hmm.
There might be some gems in asking that question and her being able to express what it is she may be feeling.
And pause. I feel like, because I love what you just said. So I'm
Yeah.
not trying to throw you off. Yeah, because at least for me, I'm like, I'm the adult, I am smart, I'm the parent, so I'm just gonna assume why they're doing what they're doing. Like, I think as adults, we're quick to just be like, they must be doing it because of this. But I think there's such an importance, even if what they say, like, you're like, yep, I was right. It's so good for them to express why they're doing what they're
Yeah.
doing because I think it helps them analyze their own behavior. Like, why did I do that? So continue. But I liked that.
Yeah, I would ask and see what you can help or get from her as far as why she does that or has been doing that. And yeah, you might get something that may give you more options to a solution, whether that is behavior modification, which is, ways to change the behavior, like validating her through rewards. It's a way of behavior modification. Like every time you do something good, I'm going to give you something that's good so that you want to continue doing that, which is very simple and easy for kids who are developmentally behind or younger. Because again, they're black and white. So anything that they see as good, they're going to want to do more. They see something bad, they're going to want to shy away from it. So anything you can help pay more attention to the positive, like, oh, you came to me about this, you told me about this, and validating that would be helpful.
And you could also use like the honesty angle, like, we're honest in our house, and if something's going on with me, you shouldn't hide that. Like, we share what's going on with our bodies and with our emotions. And what were you just saying?
Diana was saying that worked with her son as well.
Oh, good.
His rewards.
And
that it totally changed the way he behaved.
Yeah.
Yeah, rewards are great for little kids.
Yeah, it works. So I dread the day, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Again, going back to my whole like hang up on language lately, that's like my new parenting hiccup. Is I really believe in making sure, because kids are so black and white, like I just feel like kids, if you say like that was bad that you did that, or that was wrong, like any kind of synonym with that, they're gonna think I am bad. At least the whole 0 degree of psychology that I have, because kids can't separate. So we've been trying really hard to say, like I always try and say, you are a good boy, and what you did was a bad decision. That doesn't make you bad. It was just a bad decision. And I've really been trying to like separate, and I know it can be like splitting hairs, but you just never want your kid to feel like, because I did bad, I am bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And there's actions that have to go with those words as well, as far as how you respond and how you react. Because again, yes, you can say all the right things, but if they feel or perceive that there isn't a difference of how you treat them when they do something that's bad, or when you feel that they're naughty, versus when they do something that has a bad outcome, and where they made a mistake, or they ate the wrong thing, or they hid something from them, they'll lump that all together, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I know you still yell at me, or I
still get the same response.
I still get the same response. It's not a difference. You get upset and you get mad and you use certain words, and pretty much they don't feel any love.
Yeah,
is what they're trying to say. If they're having a hard time of feeling that you love them because you're not saying it and you're not showing it, then that will instantly cause them to choose to put that in the bad box. These are things that mom and dad
that I want to avoid.
Because this is how they respond when I do something bad or when I'm bad.
Because our middle child, he is sneaky. Like he's always hiding things. So I feel like we have firsthand, not with reactions, and so we've even been brainstorming and been like, we've been doing the whole like, you are very good, and sometimes good people still make bad decisions. That was a bad decision. And we've really been like hammering that home for, at least a year or two. It's been a long time.
We're going on 2.
Yeah. And he's still just hiding all these things he does. So we've recently been like, okay, we're going to start talking about how everyone makes mistakes. And it's okay to make mistakes. You don't have to be embarrassed or hide your mistakes. And what happens when you make a mistake? You clean it up is the term we use. Whether that's saying sorry, whether that's admitting it, whether that's,
fixing it, cleaning it.
So we've been trying that lately. So because we think he still just associates, like he does not want anything bad. A bad decision is even like really stressful for him. So we're trying to do like mistakes, and I'm trying to talk more about like, oh, mommy made a mistake today, and help him realize like that's human. Human is to err, and we don't expect perfection in our family.
Yeah.
And we want him to feel like it's a safe place to make mistakes. And dear friend, we don't know if any of this, we're not saying you do any of these things. We're just spitballing the whole scenario. I don't want her to feel like, but I don't do that or whatever. Like,
we're just
throwing out ideas.
Ideas.
I'm sure you're doing great. We missed some. Okay, yes. So Rebecca says, I always let my son know how proud I am of his decisions to ask now that he can. or read the label first, or bring it home before he indulges. That's a good word, because I'm sure it feels like I want to indulge right now if it's a class snack. And yes, there's such a fine line between giving information to your child about what can happen, but also not making them insanely anxious. Yes, there is. And then Diana says, yes to rewards. My son receives IVIG infusions. I don't know what that is. And we began rewarding brave behavior by displaying great self-control during fearful moments and blood work. Allergies are life and death, so yes, reward like crazy. Yeah, like I've totally done the like, we'll go to Red Robin after this blood draw if you can, not. Down, and so he like just stood face to face with him,
That's
and the kid just, my son just swung right out, and I was like, I am so sorry, sir. I'm sorry. So yeah.
I bet you he doesn't stand like that.
No,
Ever
probably
again.
to stand to the side.
In that
Must have been new. And Diana says rewards completely changed the way he responded. Yeah, rewards the best. I mean, let's be honest. I still like rewards. Like, if I'm gonna work hard, I want a paycheck. If I'm gonna clean the house, I want to be able to watch TV after. Like, everyone likes rewards. My son actually declined a class this year. He's in second grade because I couldn't go there to supervise, and it was an all-day thing where they'd have food. I thought he'd be upset, but he said he didn't feel comfortable with it. So I thought that was a great decision he made himself in regards to his safety and security with his allergies. That's cool. I feel like on a couple of levels. One, that he would advocate, and two, that he'd be comfortable like not doing something.
Yeah.
Like electing pressure. Well, and just electing, like knowing all my friends and classmates are doing this and I'm choosing not to. And just realizing like I don't feel safe. Like that's really, I feel like advanced. Like I'm not going to be comfortable in a situation, so I'm going to choose to remove myself. Because that's on like so many levels, right? Like there's pressure to drink when they're a teenager. Like I don't feel safe. I'm going to step back from the situation. Like there's just so many times I feel like these skills that our kids are learning from a young age are just so good. So bravo. Give him a big high five from us. That's awesome. Okay, we appreciate your guys' ideas on this. Hopefully this is helpful to our friend. And if it wasn't and you want to talk more about it, message us. We're always happy to bring up topics from you guys if you guys want additional feedback on things going on in your allergy world. But with that, are we missing anything? No? Oh yes, there's some really good, exciting news. I am shooting tomorrow for the cookbook my last 3 recipes. And I'm submitting the manuscript to.
It was a total of
60.
60.
So
recipes.
The light at the end of the tunnel, guys.
I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food sitting in the fridge.
Yeah, our house is
on deck.
Chock full. I'm like, I made 4 dinners tonight. What would you like? Like, I told my kids
3 meals a day.
Yeah.
I understand what the hype's all about.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
It's pretty good.
I mean, not that I haven't always cooked for our family every single day of my life. No, I'm not saying that,
but
just
3 meals a day. She doesn't usually have to cook me breakfast or lunch.
I drew the line there. But
it's not just she drew the line.
I am become a restaurant. And I told him, like, after this week, it's back to 1 dinner option. Yeah. And if you don't like it, you can go to bed hungry. But we even had to buy a deep freezer for our garage to just start holding all of it. Thank you, Courtney. She says, congratulations. Thank you, Brittany. So hold on, guys. I know, like, it's killing me. Like, I am one of the most impatient people in the world. And yeah, he can second that. And it's not going to be coming out till like spring. So it's just a long process. Like
spring as in 2019.
Yeah. Because it's already summer. So
just making sure.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a little bit. They're just publishing, legal, printing, all that is a process. So it's killing me to sit on these recipes. But it'll be so worth it because we've really enjoyed it. I've come up with some doozies. So but yeah.
You guys will enjoy it.
You will. So it's funny. I actually had
so for Christmas.
You can pre-order, most likely.
Oh, I was gonna say for Christmas, get yourself one of those slow cookers.
Oh, Instant Pot.
Instant Pot, sorry.
Instant Pot, honey.
Instant Pots.
Instant Pot.
Just in case you don't already have one.
Yeah, so
Because
be
we
ready to
didn't get
roll.
one until recently. So
I
just
know,
to get prepared,
Anita, it's hard to wait that long. It's gonna
get the Instant Pot by
me.
Christmas.
Yeah. But you'll most likely be able to like pre-order it, so you can still probably give it as a Christmas present. And so one of my recipe testers just messaged me actually tonight, and she's tried. I don't want to spoil what they are, but 2 things from my cookbook, and is in love with them. And she's like, someone else made me, or I bought store-bought this, and someone else made me this, and she was like, and they taste like dirt compared to yours. And she's like, and I can't even stand them. And I'm like, I feel bad that I like ruined that for her, but also glad that she enjoys it so much. So, and she was like, put that on your cookbook. Everything else tastes like dirt in relation to it. So some good stuff coming out. So anyways, it feels really good to know that I've wrapped that up and I'm getting that going for you guys. So exciting week this week. I hope you guys have also a productive, exciting week, and we can't wait.
4th of July.
Well,
or do we have one before 4th of July?
Isn't it on a Wednesday?
I guess so.
It's on a Wednesday. We'll see you on the 4th of July Eve, my friends. Thank you, Courtney. Can't wait either. So have a great week. You struggle with finding recipes? Well, girlfriend, have you checked out my site? I've got like 200 recipes on there. So
I think she's talking about her Instant Pot.
Oh, Instant Pot.
She says, I can't wait that long. I love mine.
I know. I only have like 3 right now because I had to save the rest for the cookbook. So I'm sorry. But so we will talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, direct message me questions if you want stuff added. Oh, sorry, Bex, we're just getting off. Watch the replay. Tell your friends and family about the replay. If you need grilling recipes, that grilled chicken I put on my site last week is the bomb. We've been having it for like, what, 3 or 4 summers? My grilled Italian chicken. So.
I didn't get any of that.
It
must have been really good.
Well, I have my mom staying with us, so we have like more adults than I'm used to. I still love you. Okay, have a good night, you guys. Share this with your friends and family. We want to make sure everyone who has food allergies feels like they have resources. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.
Nice.
Fine.
Okay. Water in the lawn.
Okay. See you in a bit.
I need to know that these are unacceptable, but they're here. And anyway, that I woke up this morning at 5:30, like anxiety, stressed out, and I went hiking until